It's been years since June contracted an unknown illness that's been destroying her life. She's lost the ability to walk and has to deal with constant muscle pains on a daily basis. Desperate, she decided to take a chance and prepared to visit a stem cell doctor who claims to be able to cure anything, but at a hefty premium. Luckily, June had a lot of money saved up, so her brother James drove her to the bank to withdraw the $30,000 needed to perform this operation. James told his sister that it seemed sketchy, and while not fully understanding much about the medical world, he was sure stem cell replacement wouldn't do anything, but she didn't care. She was desperate. On their way to the doctor's, traffic began to slow before soon coming to a complete stop. The two siblings sat and waited, wondering if there may have been an accident. And just as June was about to open her mouth and ask for some water, the two witnessed a huge explosion in the distance, followed by people running down the street toward their van. "What's going on?" James shouted as people stampeded past them. Suddenly, a loud, bear-like roar came from the point of the explosion, and red figures emerged from the scouring flames and began running towards the crowd like apes. "We gotta go!" James yelled out with urgency and tried to open his door, but the panicked people running by kept knocking it back into his face. The monsters started to approach quickly. They were covered in burns and blood, and they had large sacs coming out from their backs that inflated every time they breathed in, and with each exhale, they released a stream of blood. "Fuck!" James was trying his hardest to get out and make his way over to his sister, and she could do nothing but sit helplessly. The creatures eventually made it over to their van and began pounding the front window, soon breaking the glass and pulling James out before ripping him to shreds right in front of his sister. June closed her eyes as one approached, gripping her arm and biting into her wrist. But before it could really have its fill, a bullet whizzed past her face and the creature fell limp in her lap. The military caught up and made quick work of most of the creatures, while others fled. June cried out in pain. The sight of the bites swelled up, and fever quickly took hold of her. One of the soldiers approached with his gun aimed at her blood-stained face before everything went dark.